Warning, there will be spoilers throughout this podcast. If you have not yet read or finished reading this book, we suggest that you stop here and come back after you have read the book. If you just don't give a shit, then keep on listening.
Who's your best friend of 10 years? Brianna?
She's like, if it's not 10 years of like 20,
forever.
like of 27 years.
Yeah, I would say I have a friend like that too,
Yeah,
but I've
it's
known since I was like
Brianna.
7.
Do you guys use each other's names when you're talking to each other?
No.
Okay, right? That's weird,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Because if I'm talking to Corey, I'm like, I can't say his name to his face.
Yes.
And he
Yeah.
can't say mine to my face.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird.
Tiff called me Nicole the other day, and I was like, who the
What?
fuck are you
Who the
talking
fuck is
to?
Nicole?
Yeah.
Like, bitch.
Yeah, no.
You guys, I mean, I hope in later years you guys, you know, and I will be all that close where we don't have to use each other's names.
Yeah.
But like, there's still so many of us in a group that I have to specify who I'm talking to.
Nicole,
Thank you, Nicole.
how does it feel to just have the fattest ass in the group?
I don't have the fattest ass in the room.
Who has
Have
the
you seen
best-
Leah's?
Get
Girl!
a fucking measuring tape right now. Get a fucking measuring tape.
We'll measure.
I measured my ass. I hate my
I wonder
Okay,
how much
everybody,
it
we're gonna take a
weighs.
poll. Vote for who you think has the fattest ass. Without
Like-
ever have seen.
Right, without ever
Just
seeing what any of us-
Purely on attitude.
Any of us
but
look like.
also keep in mind that everybody has a mic but Nicole. So Nicole's loud voice equals fat ass.
If we like took the average of like our asses, yeah, it would still be very low because I have absolutely no ass.
Hi, hello, we are back. I'm Nicole,
I'm Leah. I'm Mara.
I'm Crystal.
and this is Literally Obsessed.
You always pronounce it.
Do I
Literally.
I did pronounce it differently that time.
it's-
Literally.
It's literaturely.
Literally, thank you. It's a hard word. Do you want to do it over? Let's do it over.
Oh,
No, I think that would be funny.
Okay.
Music bed.
My husband's coworkers are actually listening to our podcast.
What?
Oh,
Oh my god, he's married to a psycho.
just wait until they hear about the hot dogs.
Oh
Alright,
my god.
So today's episode is Iron Flame,
Yay!
which we are so excited about. A little bit about the book. It was published in 2023. It has 623 pages, and it is classified as a fantasy romance. And now Mara's gonna give you a little bit of a synopsis.
Everyone expected Violet Soaringale to die during her first year at Basgiath War College, Violet included. But threshing was the only first impossible test meant to weed out the weak-willed, the unworthy, and the unlucky. Now the real training begins, and Violet's already wondering how she'll get through. It's not just that it's grueling and maliciously brutal, or even that it's designed to stretch the rider's capacity for pain beyond endurance. It's the new vice commandant who's made it his personal mission to teach Violet exactly how powerless she is, unless she betrays the man she loves. Although Violet's body might be weaker and frailer than everyone else's, she still has her wits and a will of iron. And leadership is forgetting the most important lesson Basgiath has taught her. Dragon riders must make their own rule. But a determination to survive won't be enough this year, because Violet knows the real secret hidden for centuries at Basgiath War College. And nothing, not even dragonfire, may be enough to save them in the end. Dun, dun, dun.
Ratings?
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first, because I finished it first.
True, you did finish it first. Put your rating on.
I give this book a 5 out of 5. I absolutely loved this book. If I could live after all this shit happens, because there's too much shit going on, I don't want to risk my life. But I want to be a dragon rider.
When they discover dragons.
Yeah. Maybe one day they'll discover dragons.
I believe dragons were real at one point in time. I will 100% stand behind that, and you can tell me I'm wrong, and I'm not gonna fucking believe you.
During the dinosaurs, or like before the dinosaurs?
No, like
Medieval times.
yeah. I believe, okay, because to me, legends have to start somewhere. Somebody saw something that started that ideology and people fucking ran with it. There had to be something. Just like Giants had, like they just, I believe in all of it. Again, you can tell me that I'm wrong and I'm gonna tell you to go fuck yourself.
What's your rating, Leah?
Okay, at first I rated it a 5.
Uh,
And I still really, really loved it. But I want to say a 4.5. So almost a 5. So yeah.
Crystal?
this book was a 3.
Oh
For
my
me.
fucking god.
No, listen.
Of course, it had to be Crystal.
I rated it a 4 when I first finished it. But in between us waiting for Nicole to finish it and then waiting for us to like do this episode, it had too much time to marinate in my head. And I went back and there were just some things I did not like about it. And I use these red tabs in my book. These are my red flags, and I have quite a bit of them. These are just things I didn't like, things I thought were stupid, and I guess we'll get into that later. So, what was your rating, Nicole?
I rated this like a 4.5 also. Just because I feel like the beginning was very slow.
Okay.
I felt like the first book was, there was always something happening. There was always something going on. You were always like, what the
Really?
fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck. And now this one, I just felt like the beginning was a little bit, And then the end, like middle to end, like it really, 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 really picked up. So that's why I kind of dropped it down a little bit, but I still absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Like it still has become my whole personality. I'm obsessed.
For me, it was the opposite. Where when I first started it, I was really into it, and then like the last half of the book, I was like, oh my god, is this over yet?
Really?
Yeah.
Did everyone give their ratings?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I just want to say that I was right.
About
You were right.
I said I thought that Zayden's second signet was him mind reading because in Fourth Wing, on page 493, he says, I keep my shields up trying to respect her privacy as I walk to her side, but gods, I need to know what she's thinking. I fucking knew it. I knew it. But yeah.
You did. I will give you that. You definitely called that 100%.
So we went to the Barnes & Nobles, what was it? The
They're
midnight release.
Mhm.
And boy, they were not fucking kidding. It is a midnight release. So if you get there at 10,
Yeah.
thinking that you'll be able to get that book,
Book and like bounce because
Jokes-
you got to work the next
jokes
morning.
on
Absolutely not.
you.
Absolutely not.
Got there, stopped by some Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
went there, got there around like 8, and there was already a couple people waiting,
Mhm.
and we saw more people coming, and
We were like, fuck it, let's go outside
Let's
and
go.
wait.
mind you, the urgency was because they had like a free gift for the first 100 people, and we're like, oh, we're gonna fucking be there.
Yeah. We
Literally
didn't drive all this
swear.
way for nothing.
Exactly, I'm gonna get a free gift out of this, which it was, I thought it was garbage.
I think it's a cute.
I mean, girl, if you don't want it, I will gladly take it.
I don't know where it is. That's how much
You can have
I thought it
mine.
was.
God damn.
But it's a tiny little tote bag. It's cute. It's like that reusable shopping
Mm-hmm.
bag, like material. And I think it would be cute if you just like go to Barnes and Noble and you carry your books around in that. Like it's cute.
I would 100% use it constantly.
I think it also came with tattoos.
Cute little dragon tattoos.
I would definitely be wearing those
So
also.
cute.
It came with a bookmark that I could have printed off at home.
Yes.
Um,
They had little tables and everything, like
Like
little
different-
activities that you could do when you walk in. There's like a drop, like a what's it called? A backdrop of like the parapet, and people could take their picture in front of it,
Oh yeah.
and that was cute.
They had like themed drinks
At
at
the
the
Starbucks,
cafe.
yeah.
They had a table where you could pick it was like a box. You reach in, grab a dragon. You can name it. I remember naming it Crispy.
I don't remember name.
It was either Crispy or Chicken Nugget.
I'm gonna go with you. Most likely named it chicken nugget.
You're gonna have to find your certificate. I still have mine.
Anyways, I got a yellow dragon, and you got.
I got a green dragon, which is funny because they're supposed to be the smartest dragons, and I would say I'm pretty smart. So.
Anyways.
Oh, thank you. I named mine Caraxes because I'm so unoriginal. Also, I miss House of the Dragon. The trailer just came out, and me and Leah were freaking out about it. Oh my god.
They had like a QR code on one table. You could scan it to see like which quadrant you were gonna be in. What I got Scribe.
We both got
We
Scribe.
got Scribe.
Oh.
Which pissed me off. I'm a Dragon Rider.
Okay, bitch.
And then there was another one. There was like a coloring table.
I would have loved the
We
shit
were
out of that.
all adults. Everybody
We were like,
there was
fuck
an
that.
adult.
And then like
I would have been at that coloring table.
I know you
And
would have
then
been there.
we walked around,
We
looking
look
at books.
Yeah.
And then they did like the
They got everybody together in one area for trivia,
yeah.
and they handed out like these sheets where you could, the questions were on there. You would write your answer, and then they had an.
Oh, I got hit with the Bluetooth speaker too.
They had them. We were sitting right behind like the Bluetooth speaker, and whenever they like were trying to move it to get it into the middle of the floor, it like fell on Mara's knee.
It hurt.
And it hurt. Apparently, I like laughed. I was like, oh, like it's okay. Like, they were like, oh, sorry, and I was like, oh no, like you're good. Apparently, it hurt really bad.
I'm gonna sue. Get ready. But
And then they did trivia. They had somebody up there like reading like the questions and then answering them. But then they had everybody turn in their sheets, and it was
to
weird.
see who won.
Good, but they didn't announce anybody's
They
name.
did.
They did?
Yeah, we just
Okay.
were listening.
Okay. Well, we were in line at that point because it was
Yeah,
almost
fuck
midnight.
that.
It was almost
Oh,
midnight, and we had to get our
then-
books.
Yeah, there was a couple of girls that dressed up like Violet. And then they had a costume contest.
Yeah.
And I don't like how they did it. It
Yeah.
probably shot a lot of people's confidence down. Because
Yeah.
it was like, okay, like cheer the loudest for whoever you want. And this
And
one
there's-
girl was like, it was like a couple whoops.
Nobody got like there was somebody who got like no cheers. They were like
Yeah.
woo, and it was
It's like
so
someone
embarrassing.
did like a pity woo. And I
There were
think
two
next-
girls in these dresses, right? The black dress and the
Oh
gold
yeah,
dress,
they were the dragons.
and they had cute little like sparkly like wings. We got there, we got inside, we sat down, and
Yeah.
Mara went and asked if we could get the book so we could leave.
I told her, I was like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. Like, I was like, this is like super fun. I said, but we drove an hour and a half. Like, can we just get the book and go? And she's like, no, it's a midnight release. And I was like, ma'am,
We haven't even seen the book,
I've
which I know is a
fucking
fucking
seen
lie.
so many people on TikTok with this book. Let's not be coy. Let's not play these games.
Right.
But, no, and I saw TikToks of other people like at different Barnes and Nobles, and I feel like they had more effort. Like they had to walk the parapet.
Yeah. Yeah, right? I feel like I don't know, I saw other Barnes and Nobles parties, and like
It
I don't
looked
know.
more fun.
yeah. Whereas like us it just felt really like
Bare minimum.
bare minimum, like hastily put together. Like nobody
I
had
hate
any
to say
real,
this.
like, thought.
But it's probably because of where it was.
Yeah, and that's and my thing is like, and they were like, oh, this is like our first event since Harry Potter.
Since the last Harry Potter book.
and I was like, so
"Whoa."
y'all had all this time to plan,
Yeah.
and this is what you could come up with.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like it might have been like a that specific Barnes and Nobles because like and because at first like during it I was like, damn, like this like all these people are going to Barnes and Nobles and I'm gonna be so bored. But I think it was specifically that one was just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do bare minimum because I'm trying to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then we bought the book and we bounced.
Also, this book was $30.
$30, I know. We did get the special sprayed edges.
I could have sprayed these edges
But
myself.
they're flaking off of mine.
Yeah.
Also, this book release was a disaster. Like, I'll be the first one to say it. Not because I'm a hater, but
Oh, I'm hating.
I was saying, one of you guys got the one that's like messed up, right?
Yeah, got in this spring.
Yeah.
This is one of the ones that was like printed in Italy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it's like. Let me see. I mean, my map's not
We
upside
got
down,
one
but
for
I'm
the
missing
website.
the
You're
dragon.
missing the dragon on chapter 17,
Yes,
and
and
it's
then
got
there's
that
like
little
a
misprint on the
misprint.
copyright
But I
page.
think you got away with it. You got away unscathed because some people got missing pages.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Some
like it
people
would go
had
to like page 83 or 84 and
Yeah.
like, the whole book would start over.
people
Yeah.
had upside down pages. People were missing whole chapters.
I heard saw some people too, which I'm one of those people that if something's spelt wrong, and I'm just reading through it,
It's
like
gonna
I'm not
piss
gonna
you
catch. No, I'm not gonna catch it along the time if it's little, especially if it's words that are like not significant enough. Even though I'm not saying his name is significant, but I also saw people say that Tarn's name was spelt wrong in a couple people's books. It was spelt like Tarn or some shit like that. It was just whoever edited it. That's
Oh, well, then
because
whoever edited it probably doesn't
she,
have a job
because this is the thing,
anymore.
she typed it. Then you send this away to be edited by people. They bring it back. You do more work. You send it back out again to be. It gets edited like dozens of times, and they're still fucking shit
Rebecca,
wrong.
baby girl.
She probably
you-
just tried to rush it because of so much hype, like the first one.
Which I hate
You know?
that.
This Fourth Wing came out this summer, right, or spring,
Yeah.
and then this book came 6 months after that,
Yeah.
which is insane to me.
Well, they updated the publishing date for the next book is December next year, and I'm
Well, so one thing that I did hear about that is if you're looking on like a Goodreads or something like that and it says the publishing date, they just put in a random date to like hold the place. So there's no saying when
yeah.
this book, but there are 2 books of hers that are coming out next year, but they're 2 romance novels.
Yeah, I hope she takes her time with the next book, because I feel like she could have taken a lot of time with this one.
It was good, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I feel like there could
I
have been
think
some more.
people,
She gave what the people were wanting, and
Yes.
I didn't like that.
Mhm.
Like, I like it to be something original from herself.
right,
Yes.
exactly,
You know
write
what?
the story the way you want to write
Yeah.
it.
That's what I also said at one point. Like I feel like certain parts of this book were very, very, very cliche,
Yeah.
and it just reminded me of a lot of fantasy type books. The second one in that type of like, okay. How do I word this? Kind of going to Harry Potter. It did the same thing in Harry Potter too, where it's like they get through what they need to do in the first half of it, and woo, yay! And then book 2 comes along, and here's the evil headmaster or teacher or whoever that's going to come in and like whip these characters into shape, and they have to defeat him. It was the same thing. Like Varish comes in, and here's this evil, hard ass fucking person who's going to torture her and put her through hell. And it's literally exactly the same in all books like this.
When you mentioned this to me, it made me think of superhero movies when there's like a sequel, and in the sequel, the hero suddenly can't use his powers or suddenly can't do this or can't do that, and they have to like find a way to like get around it. This always happens in the sequel. The first 2 that come to mind are Spider-Man 2 and Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just kind of what it reminds me of.
It's like, it was very, very, very cliche. Don't get me wrong. Was it still a good book, and the ending was a fucking shocker? Yes, but that whole middle part with Varish was very fucking cliche, and I honestly did not like it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the Varish part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish that his death wasn't so rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
know
for sure.
Daddy Zayden would have handled it. It was rushed.
It
I
was.
feel like Zayden would have like tortured the shit
See,
out of him.
but I think I said this to you, to Leah, it was Violet's right to kill him
Yes.
for what he did.
Oh yeah.
But what pissed me off with that whole thing, with which, 1, yes, it was fucking rushed, but 2, Violet has been nothing but this. Yes, she's weak in aspects, but this whole series so far has been how strong Violet is, how much she can overcome,
Right, how
and all this,
resilient she
exactly
is.
how resilient she is. And she needed Zayden to fucking carry her over to Varish and fucking hold her hand with the knife in it to fucking stab him in the chest. No! Make that bitch have a spurt of energy real quick and get up on her feet and look Varish in the fucking eyes
Right.
and take his life from him.
Like
And
even
then
if
fall
you
into a coma.
Exactly, and then poof,
Yes,
drop.
Exactly.
And Zayden pick her up and carry her
that
out.
sounds like 10 times better right there. Just because like picturing it was so hilarious.
Yes! I was
Like, I was like-
cringing.
Yes.
Cringing.
I was like, no.
But if she had literally like been like, no, I'm fine, and like pushed Zayden away and like got up and like stumbled over towards Varish
right?
and looked him dead in the eyes and raised her dagger and
Like,
drove it in
told
his
you
heart.
You would die.
Exactly.
Yep.
Told you would be the one not leaving ever. You know what I mean? And like stare him in the eyes as she shoved. Yeah, please don't say.
You know what I meant.
I know what you meant, but
Crop it
still,
out then.
I will. But you know what I mean? And like stared him dead in the eyes and then like just poofs and watched his life. Like that would have been.
One thing I did not like about this book is that at the beginning, you know, I feel like a lot of characters were introduced in name alone. Like we didn't know anything about them. Oh, this is so and so. He's been here the whole time, and then bam, he's dead. You know, like and then there's another one. I have my notes because I wrote down a lot of thoughts.
Why are you doing that? Varish's dragon was so out of pocket.
Oh my god, he
Oh,
was
yeah.
insane.
Okay.
I love the fact though that
That dragon was like the definition of like on site.
yeah.
And I'm here for it.
So it doesn't happen until page 71, but this one character, Siren, I think is his name, is introduced in the beginning, and then by page 71, he's dead. He's dead. And I said, we literally hardly knew you. And then page 84, less than like 15 pages later, Nadine is dead. I feel like she was introduced for the sole purpose of someone snapping her neck to advance Violet's story.
Both of those characters were in the first book.
Were they?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, because
Well,
when Sieran dies,
Uh-huh.
they like honestly get very, very upset because she gets torched by Solace,
Uh-huh.
Varish's dragon, because she was part of their group last year.
Right.
Like she was with them last year, and so was Nadine.
Right. Okay.
They were both characters from the last book.
But why?
But yeah, I understand what you
I
mean.
feel like if you have to remind me of like who this character is, they weren't that impactful in the first
Correct.
story.
Right.
You know, and I feel if you really want to make an impact on your reader, you need to kill off somebody major, somebody who actually has been there the whole time.
Yeah.
Like she did it right with killing off Liam, right? Why? I'm not saying Imogen should die, but like, why did you kill off Imogen? Why did you kill off Rhiannon? Somebody, you know. That's just what I'm thinking, because you don't feel attached to Syrian and Nadine.
Right.
Like, who even are they?
Yeah.
Why do I care that they're dead?
But I think it was also one of those things like in the first book with all of those cadets who died doing, you know, like the parapet and doing the gauntlet and all that stuff. It just was one of those things to show you how simple it is and how easy it is for somebody to just die.
But the way I felt was that Violet was never in any real danger. If it was somebody who was close to her who had died, somebody who like Rhiannon who was really good at like fighting and stuff, if she had been like killed off, well, now Violet can be killed off, you know?
Well, but there were a couple, I mean, and yeah, they weren't like huge parts to the story, but in a sense they were close to her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were 2 or 3 people that were in resin with them who were basically like assassinated by Dane's fucking dad. You know what I mean? So technically, in a sense, like, it was proven that like nobody was really safe at that point, especially if they knew what was going on. You know what I mean? Like, you had to watch your back at all points, and like who was it? Garrick was beat up. People were like beat up too, like jumped and shit like that.
But I also think it was too early in the book for anybody significant to be dying at that point in time.
Right.
Which
That's what I'm saying is
get it,
like for me it didn't feel like the stakes were high enough. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Also, page 112 cracks me up because she goes to what is it, the outpost where Zayden is, and this man, they're participating in a fight club.
Yes, they are.
And then, mind you, this whole time, Zayden is like, at the beginning of the book, Zayden's like, oh, I got secrets and I can't tell you.
Oh, which
But
was
you-
so
you were-
Just ask me and I'll
Yep,
be
but you're
honest.
supposed to
Why
trust
don't you
me.
just
Yes.
fucking tell her
Yeah.
what the secrets are,
Right.
you dummy?
Just trust me, right?
Yep.
But I can never tell you all my secrets.
And-
Right, but then expects her to like
So-
be,
right,
you know, to tell
exactly.
him everything.
And so she withholds, like, from fucking him. And but then she sees him shirtless and she's like, oh my god. She's like, oh my god, her panties are coming off.
Okay, well, first
Like-
off, this entire book was just filled with her like obsessing over him and like simping for
And,
him
like-
in like every
And
And
like
she
every-
could have just done it.
yes, like every
in the weirdest
thought
like
possible was like
sexual
oh my
way.
gosh.
It feels like I don't know how we're expected to believe that they're in love because they never seem like they love each other. Like they
Right.
seem like their attraction is superficial
Right.
and it's shallow.
Yep.
And they only like each other for each other's bodies.
Yep.
Which is fine but don't tell me that they're like in love with each other.
Right, and they're like
They would
soulmates
die
or
for each other.
something.
Yeah, like I don't believe that.
Yeah, me neither. I don't
Well, I
either.
think they would die for each other, but that's just because they would literally die if the other one dies.
True.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But it's just like when I
But I don't get mates. I don't get like
right
I don't know. It's just
like
it's
you I mean you two are in relationships like whenever you're looking at your partner like you're not just thinking about how sexy they are, you know, you're thinking about
Speak for yourself.
well you're thinking about oh you know what this person does for you
right.
because
Like the
they
love.
love you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I feel like we haven't experienced like intimate moments with them.
Yeah.
The only instance that I feel like it was like somewhat personal was whenever in the first book
Uh-huh.
where Violet went out onto the parapet with Zayden during the whole
Yeah.
that was literally like the only time I ever saw them get like personal with each other or like a little bit deeper than surface level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's just all about sex, and
Yeah.
I need romance. Like
Yeah.
I need them to feel like I need Rhysand and I need Feyre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need them.
It's just very surface level.
Yes.
Like I want to get into the deeper things like
Right. Like don't get me wrong. Like I
Right.
love Zayden. Like I love him. Like
Uh-huh.
he's great. But
Oh, I'm obsessed with him.
yeah.
I don't know, because it's a 5-book series. What if, and it's like the enemies to lovers, and it's just like there's only 2 ways I can see the enemies to lovers going, and I think this book is setting up for that. I feel like Zayden's gonna turn Venom, but like he's gonna go full on Venom, leave, and like the next 2-3 books is gonna be her trying to get him back.
Okay. Well, look. I don't know if any of you guys have ever read The Vampire Academy, but this is
Yes.
literally The Vampire
Yes.
Academy because this is literally like as soon at the end of the book when we find out that Zayden, you know, turned Venom or is turning Venom, whatever it is, it immediately brought me back to like my high school days and like Rochelle Mead's Vampire Academy with literally the love interest turning into like the bad sort of vampire. And then Rose having to find a way to cure him, and it's great. Like literally, I was like, no.
I'm so sorry to talk about Attack on Titan again. But you know, it kind of reminds me of that. Like the end of this book, we find out that Zayden has been like turned essentially, and it kind of reminds me of Attack on Titan, where at least where I think where the next book is going, where they find out like the main character can shift into a Titan. And now they're going to have to figure out how to use this power in order to defeat the enemy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to happen in the next book. Like, I think that's what the next book is going to be all about.
Yeah.
I don't know how she's going to, I don't know how it's going to span out into 3 more books.
Right.
I really don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely see how book 3 is going to be, but yeah, I don't understand how book 4 and 5 are gonna go.
So, Rebecca said that Violet's second signet has manifested in this
book.
In this book. Now I found a TikTok. It's the page is Lauren's library, hot or pot. Shut up, library. And she put like the characters, what their dragon's name is, what their dragon's name means in Gaelic. It's Gaelic. Not
Gaelic.
No,
I thought it was Gaelic, but Taryn's name means thunder.
Yes.
And a lot of, like, there's been a couple of references in this book where Violet's, like, signet's, like, pure power.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's wielding lightning. Because there's, whenever she gets burnt out from Varish,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a day or two later, like, she's sunburned.
Okay.
I don't think it's lightning. I think she's just comfortable with lightning. But I don't know.
I mean, it's a
That
good
it
point.
manifests in the form of lightning.
I think it manifests
she-
in the form of lightning because
She controls power.
yeah.
Right.
But my thing is like it has to be significant because she's sunburnt.
But what are you trying to get from that? Because like lightning is like
Well, yeah, like Taryn's name means thunder, like that whole thing. Adarna's name means second honor.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I feel like Violet's up there. I don't think she's just some basic writer. I feel like there's a lot that the dragons know about her. Because when Adarna, she had that conversation with Adarna was like, I waited like, what, 650 years?
Yeah.
When she heard about Violet. And my thing is she heard about Violet because the dragons were talking about her.
Mm-hmm.
Why were they talking about her?
right.
Yeah. True.
And
Like what's so special about her?
exactly, and you know, we know that the dragons aren't the most forthcoming
Mm-hmm.
with stuff, and I think her signet is distance wielding. Her distance wielding because it's mentioned. It's mentioned that there hasn't been one in centuries.
Mm.
And I think there's so many coincidences. Like Adarna is the last of her den, waited centuries. There hasn't been a distance wielder in centuries, and I think Adarna's den can be the only one that can do that. But then there's also a lot of people say maybe amplification, because when she's around other people, they're all like able to do these things randomly.
Yeah.
Like, what's Rhiannon?
Rhiannon.
All of a sudden was able to get this knife and like pull it through when she's
Through a
never
wall,
done that
yeah.
before. Mira was able to extend her wards farther than she was able to.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was someone else, I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely, honestly, really does make sense.
And a lot of people said that she might be able to do the like resurrection or talk to the dead, and I thought that too, and I talked
Because
to
of-
Leah about
Could-
it
yeah.
because of Liam. But she also was pumped full of that
Mm-hmm.
liquid that cuts her off from the dragons.
Yep.
So I think that might have just been her insanity at that point.
Well, yeah. Let me think about it. If you're locked in a dungeon, being beaten to the brink of death every day for like a week and a half,
Yeah.
you'd start seeing some shit too. Highly doubt you wouldn't.
But I think Adarna's name has something to do with. I feel like it's special because Terrence means thunder, Mira's was a one-off. Lilith, Aimster is her dragon's name, and it means weather, climate. She can control the weather. Zayden's scale means shadow. Bodhi's means cure, C-U-I-R. Cure, I don't know. Add. There's just so many dragons' names who like their name means the signet. And I don't know if it's because that's what they manifest or if that's just how Rebecca wrote it to where they make sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like
I mean, it would definitely be one of those things that the author put in as like a little Easter egg type of thing where, you know, oh, hey, look, if you were to actually look into their names like that, then they mean these things. which is what their power ends up coming out to be. It makes sense.
There's so many ways that all of this could go.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to know Violet's signet now.
Well, you have to wait till
Next year,
yeah.
or the year after, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But probably how bad this publication was.
It's gonna, yeah, I would say I highly doubt if we're gonna get it in 2024. Probably early 2025. But kind of going off of with the second signet, I guess I'm a little confused with Xaden. So there was a comment made on like page 302, I think it is. And I forgot who made the comment, but somebody made the comment about how dragons cannot bond the same person in the same familial line.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they will either go crazy, like the person will go crazy, or they get a second signet. What if it's not an or? What if it's kind of both in time? We already know Xaden has a second signet. We found that out. He's a intinistic, or whatever, how you pronounce it. Semi. He can only read what emotions their intentions are. But what if him... Because if you think about it, that last battle, the whole last battle at the end, when he was fighting the sage of the Venin, he knew, and I'm sorry, there's no way in his mind that he didn't know that Violet was going to do what needed to be done to raise those wards. He knew those wards were going up. Yet, he just didn't fight long enough to have them go up. He was so crazed in getting rid of this sage that he siphoned power from the earth. So what if that's... Because technically Scale is his grandfather's dragon. Grandfather.
I thought it said grandma.
No, it was grandfather's dragon. He bonded his grandfather. And then after his grandfather died, he bonded Xaden. She bonded Xaden. So is that how they go crazy? Is that like a part of it? You know what I mean?
I have no idea.
I know.
I think that part made me emotional. If that's like...
Yes.
Whenever Scale was like, I chose you. Like, don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was like... For me, that was like super emotional because like...
Scale isn't emotional. It's like a heart.
Yeah.
Exactly. So she was like begging him, like, please don't do this. And it kind of made me mad that he's like, well, I chose Violet too, or Violet chose me, or whatever. I was like,
we're not talking about her.
Barely know her, like,
right?
Like, you got Scale in day one.
Yes, right? For real, like, so that really made me like upset. Like, I was just like, I don't feel like their relationship is that much. Like, it didn't. I don't know.
It's not developed in that way.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
For him to make that decision like that, like, and just completely disregard his dragon, that, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're like she said, they're day ones, Like, and that was.
It's also too to me that the way the whole thing happened, it was literally like you had to wait like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You couldn't wait 5 minutes.
I feel like it wasn't even 5 minutes. Like, homeboy just needed
like the
No,
wards
you're
were
right there.
yeah, the wards were literally going. You couldn't just fucking wait. Come on, you're supposed to be one of the most powerful writers of your time, but like second behind Violet, and you couldn't fucking wait. Like that honestly, when I tell you I was fucking mad, like I recorded myself reading the last like 30 pages of this book, and I literally had to like close it and just stare off into space for a solid 5 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. I had to keep closing because
Yeah.
pissed.
I was so fucking mad.
As we all gave it high ratings.
I know, right? It's
Lilith was surprising in this book.
yes.
I think we got a lot of a lot of our questions answered.
Yes.
But I feel like there's more questions.
No, yes, but I'm saying with her.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with her intentions and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I definitely think we
We learned a lot.
Yeah.
We learned a lot.
Well, I don't know if it's... I don't remember if this was something specifically in the book or if this is like something I remember thinking of during the book, but Lilith didn't put Violet in the scribes because she figured she was that she was gonna figure out everything.
Yep.
Did she say that in the
Yes.
book? Okay.
Wait, what? Say that again?
Her mom did not put her in the scribes because she figured she would have found everything out and then basically, like,
Join the rebellion.
yeah.
And would have died.
Yes.
And she didn't want her to be powerless.
Yes.
So that, yeah.
That's the reason she put her in, because she was like, you're too smart. I knew you were going to figure it all out.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
She's so smart, but she's so dumb.
Yeah.
And then
God.
like her mom, like the correspondence trying to find like the cure for venom, and it was
Mhm.
like only control.
Yep.
And it's just like, I feel like that only control part, like, I don't know. I feel like it means something else. Like, can you like?
I will say I was very taken off course with that whole serum thing of like them
Cutting off the
cutting off the dragon. I really was like, when I saw that and or read that part and it was like, oh, they gave him this serum and it broke their tie of talking to their dragons. They weren't able to use their powers. I was like, shit.
Like, why?
Varish is in with them. Like,
Yeah.
they know about the rebellion. They're gonna poison everybody type of deal so that nobody has power to their dragons. I never thought that they fucking had a Venom Jack.
Oh,
In-
fucking
That was like
Barlow.
oh my.
To bring all, and I think I wrote this down at one point too. To bring, of all people you could have brought back, you brought back Jack. There was, like, pissed me off.
It felt like it was in there for shock value. Like, was this really necessary?
Right.
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it was very weird. But I will say, I did not see it
I get
coming.
that you're trying to build up, like, or you're trying to, like, show that you can come back from death, essentially. But I feel like we could have done it in a different way.
Yeah.
See, my thing is like, when did he turn venom? Because from what I've heard, like, people usually turn venom when they're trying to draw power from the earth, and it's just like, my mind goes to like, they're doing that during battle, like how Zayden was. What the fuck was Jack drawing power for?
Well, I don't know, because the way that I understood it in the book, when Violet was like talking to herself about the whole thing, it had to have happened like middle of last book, because at the part when they were sparring and he was drawing power from her, she said his eyes were red.
Yeah.
So at that point, he was Venom.
Yeah.
So God knows when, but it was some point. It had to either be some point in the middle of the book
Last book?
last book, or like right after he bonded his dragon. Like, it had to be some point in there, because I'm pretty sure that whole scene where they were sparring and he like had his hands, I think it was like on her head or whatever, and he was like siphoning power out of her or siphoning power into her, whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
She said his eyes were red.
Yeah.
And that's what she remembers in this book. She, like, thinks back to it, and she's like, oh my god, I didn't notice it. Like, his eyes were red at that point.
How come nobody else noticed it? Like, any of the teachers or, you know what I mean?
I mean,
Yeah, because some of the teachers, like, whenever they had that choice, which the whole choice thing was so stupid, I feel like how it was written, where it was like, okay guys, like, hey, the rebellion's back, do you want to come with us or you want to stay? That whole thing was so stupid, but I feel like some of those teachers went so easily that they had to have
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, how did they not know that
Well,
Jack was Venom?
well, there was so many times where Deborah, like, Markham was saying stuff in Battle Brief, and Deborah was trying to just, like, sitting over there in the corner, and Violet would, like, comment on the faces she was making towards Markham. Like, she knew what the fuck was going on, but she was kind of one of those, I feel like one of those teachers who wasn't in enough with that crowd to be the part to, like, know everything that was going on and, like, actually take a side, but was enough outside of it that she was like, whatever they're fucking doing is fuck the fuck up type of deal. But I don't know if it just wasn't showing enough on him in the first book, and then he quote unquote died so easily type of thing that people were just like, oh, alright, whatever, he's gone, and nobody really knew that Varish brought him back from the fucking dead.
What, you look like you have something to say.
I don't. I feel like I had a lot more to say before I ate enough.
It's full.
I know, I want to take a nap now.
Oh, one thing that pissed me the fuck off. This book, like I said before, Violet is supposed to be this like resilient, strong, going into battle. You made them fight over a fucking man. You made her and Kat fight over a fucking man.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Kat was unhinged.
She was
I mean,
unhinged.
I kind of get where she's coming from. I'd be mad too if I was.
I mean, I would be mad too, and like I get
royalty,
Yeah.
and then it was stolen from me.
true. I mean, I'd be pissed too, and like I get it, and I get like her like
No, she's a queen for that.
go. I get like her like fucking with Violet's emotions with that to like get her riled up, but also the fact that Violet it's one of those things where she's such a smart person, but she's so fucking stupid
Yeah.
that you like were sitting there this whole time and you've never had emotions like that before. And now all of a sudden you're all pissy and everything whenever Kat's around and you just didn't fucking catch on.
Yeah.
My thing is, and I think I said this in my group chart. The group chat. Violet is so book smart, but it like has no street smart.
Yes.
She wouldn't survive on the streets. But I also said that I think she's a distance wielder earlier, and I didn't mention like why. The whole book she's running. She's running. Like that's all she's trying to do, and she keeps saying like she doesn't think she's fast enough. And then there's I think it's when Mira first comes to Orisha, and in there she says like her feet are barely touching the ground. That's how fast she's moving.
Mm-hmm.
And then even what's his name? I think it starts with a G.
Garrick?
I think he mentions like, well, like I haven't seen you move that fast, and I feel like that like.
Well, I mean, it definitely could be, but also one of the reasons why she was running like that was because of what happened to Solace and I forgot what the other person's name was in Resin when the venom siphoned from the ground, whatever's touching the ground, dies. So she was like, I have to be faster so that if that ever happens again, like I can outrun them and all of this shit. Like that was that thing. But I also can see how that could.
Why
She
are
wasn't
the, like
stopping
why are the venom like so interested in Violet?
But it's weird because it's not just Violet, because if you think about it, so first off, how are they getting into her dreams? Because it wasn't like she wasn't actually, if you think about it, she was not having a nightmare of what was happening in Resin. This sage was entering her dreams and basically bringing her like a prophecy of what was going to happen.
Not to her,
But also to Xaden.
Yeah.
Both of them were getting the same dreams, yet they never told each other about it. So they were both getting the same dream, saying of the sage showing up, attacking them, saying that you're gonna turn dark for love or whatever it is. So in reality, and I wrote this down somewhere, page 621, they were going to turn whoever they could get to first, Xaden or Violet. They wanted one of them. It didn't matter who they got as long as they got one, and Xaden unfortunately was the weaker of the two of them, and they got to Xaden. But exactly why? Why did they want one of them?
Right. What's
special
about
It's one of those things where it's I feel like they were down for like either one because they knew if they got one they'd get the other eventually.
True. I mean, maybe they want them for their power type of thing. I don't know. Maybe are we gonna find out that everybody's just fucking bad and type of thing? I don't know. But yeah, they wanted either one of them they were gonna get no matter what type of thing. But I want to know too, how was the sage like directing all of this into their minds, into their thoughts while they were sleeping? Like there has to be some sort of power that he has to make that happen.
Her dad.
I think she would recognize her father though. Do you know what I mean? I also questioned if her dad where did I write it? If her dad know about Andarna, because there was a thing on 103. Let me see if I could find it. It's ironic, don't you think? Varish asks, retreating one step at a time. From what Colonel Ados told me, your father was writing a book on feather tails, dragons which hadn't been seen in hundreds of years, and then you ended up bonding to one. Coincidental, I correct him. The word you meant to say is coincidental. Is it? He seems to ponder, backing away and passing by Bodhi. My stomach turns. Is it? I know nothing of your father's research, Tarn promises, but Andarna has gone silent. So, like, did her dad know Andarna? Did Andarna know her dad? Like, you know what I mean? How long ago did Andarna hatch before bonding with Violet?
Well, she says that she waited 650 years to have.
True, she waited 650 years, but she could have, her dad died, what? How many? 4 years, I think it was?
Yeah, but she
4 years before the
didn't
start of the first book?
Yeah, but she didn't know that she was going to be in the writer's project until a couple months before she got...
That they're telling you.
Well, that her mom told her.
Yeah, but I mean that the dragons are telling you. You don't know what the dragons knew before Violet knew.
Her mom's dragon probably told her to do it.
Well, exactly. That's the type of thing. So the dragons have been talking for so long, so who knows if Andarna hatched while her father was still alive... Because that's the other thing too, you don't know how long they stay feather tails for. Like, Andarna grew because of what she did in resin type of thing, you know what I mean? So you don't know how long they stay feather tails for, so God knows she could have been alive, hatched 4 years previously when her father was alive.
I thought Andarna was 2 years old.
Is she?
Oh, yeah! I think she does say that. I think she does
mentioned
say
that
she's like 2 years old.
At the beginning of Fourth Wing.
Okay, because I couldn't
Not
remember
the
that.
beginning of fourth
No,
grade, but
like at the beginning of Fourth Wing, she is 2 years old.
So then how far did her father pass? I don't remember how. I don't know. It was just a weird thing to me that, like, why would she put in there Andarna has gone silent? There would have been no need if it didn't.
How was her dad studying feather tails if there weren't any feather tails?
Exactly.
Right.
That's the thing. And this isn't the first time it's mentioned that her dad was researching feather tails. It was mentioned in the previous book too. At one of the points when her and Xaden were walking up to the flight field, her mother, Melgren, Ados, I think, and somebody, Panchek, I think it was, were walking down, and one of them made a comment about, oh, wasn't your dad doing research on feather tails? I wonder where his research is. And she was like, yep, I wonder where. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I think it was either the king or,
Yeah, one of them mentioned it. So that's the thing, yeah. If feather tails haven't been around for centuries, how was her dad studying one? Where was her dad studying one?
I think her dad was either murdered or he turned venom.
I think he was I think he was murdered. I 100% think that he was murdered.
They knew that he was doing, like, such a deep dive into feather tails, and they knew, like, even that book, the book that she was, like, trying to get, what is it, Jasenia to get?
Yeah.
Also, Jasenia's a real one in this book for not reporting any of the stuff that Violet was getting.
And one of the things I wrote down too, so you know how, like, in the first book, there was that little blurb about how scribes can change what has been written to fit their narrative.
Yeah.
So if Jasenia's on their side, Jasenia has translated, if you read the first page of all these books, they are translated from Navarian by Jasenia. So did Jasenia not actually change the history? Like, is this actually the true history? Because remember we were questioning it with the last book of, did Jasenia, is all of this not really what happened because scribes can change the history of things with whatever they want to write it, but if Jasenia's on their side, maybe she did do that. Maybe they actually are, really what happened, which I would think would be really, really cool.
And some of, like, the thing that's kind of, like, up in the air for me is some of the chapter beginnings say, like, recovered correspondence, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Like, why is it recovered?
I have already said this, that I swear to God, if these books end with Xaden and Violet dying, I will burn the world. Really? I will end everything and everyone.
I promise she's not threatening the world. I promise she's not threatening the world. Please don't take her promises serious. If she is, this is her address.
I've been building nuclear bombs and
Oh,
for like
In the
a while
backyard.
now.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fun and games till they come out.
I don't know. I don't feel like I'll be too sad about it.
I'd be pissed.
I'll be pissed.
I mean, I
if
would
she,
burn the
I feel
world
like
down.
if she does it right, and like, I don't know how she's,
I like it when the hero dies at the end.
right? It feels like it's
Definitely different. I will say that. And on your point, if it's written well, yeah, then
I feel
I'll.
like it'll be that justified ending. You know
Yes.
what I mean? It's just like that's what needed to happen.
Yes. If it's written well, don't get me wrong, I will 100% say that it's written well, and, I will still like it, but I will still be fucking pissed the fuck off.
Right.
You know?
Everything.
You know what, Mara? Screw you. I will say, though, that I was very confused. Well, not confused, but also, like I guess shocked that Dane just decided not to read her fucking mind when she was tied up in the fucking chair. With the...
I think that was part of what is the start of his redemption arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think the entire, just like everybody who's read this book, like, yes, Dane was
Okay.
not a good person. I think everybody was way too hard on
I was
Dane
Hard
as a
enough
character.
on him.
No, yeah, no,
I'm excited to see where he goes.
What if he's her love interest?
I'll be fucking pissed.
Oh my god.
I hate to say it, but I think this book did make me like a Dane sympathizer.
Okay, you know,
Eh.
like, just Dane
Just
and tampon.
no, I guess
sympathizers.
no. See, Tampon was completely different.
Everyone's
So
like, who the fuck
different.
is tampon?
No, he did worse stuff. Okay, which I know.
I think Dane was a victim of the
His
circumstances that he was.
incompetence.
No, the
I think
circumstances that he
he-
was born into.
Yeah.
Yes.
His dad is like what, a general,
Colonel.
or colonel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
And,
think
like-
it took something where Violet being on the brink of death,
Right.
basically, to kind of get him to realize like how serious,
Right.
what something serious is really going on.
You
know?
only know what you know.
Exactly.
And so Dane, imagine him being like a child, and this whole time everybody in his circle is telling him like these things, right? And he grows up believing these things about like the other side and all this
Right.
stuff. Like, of course he's gonna be a rule follower.
Yeah.
Of course he's gonna be wanting to
Yep.
fight for like their nation,
Yep.
Like,
But I am always here for a solid, good redemption arc.
me too.
Yeah.
All the time.
Me
If
too.
she does it, like, man, she better do it justice.
As long as it's done well, yes.
If she.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
I'll
Okay, one of you go ahead.
go ahead.
no. I was already basically done.
I think I know what Chris
I
was
was
going
just
to
gonna
say
move on to something else.
I think
What?
I-
What
no.
do you think I'm gonna say?
about the author.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I'll keep that to myself.
No, I want you. I want to
No.
talk about it.
I really don't want to yuck anybody's yum. I don't want to rain on people's parade. You don't want to yuck anybody's yum.
I've never fucking heard that.
Well, I hang
Where
around
have
a
you
lot-
been? Under a rock?
I was gonna say hang
Yeah.
around a lot of white people, and I think I've picked up their
Mm.
sayings.
I don't
Okay,
say
well,
that,
No
but okay.
offense. No offense, Nicole.
Leah's like, okay, but what were you
What
gonna
were you gonna say?
I was more. There's one character, who I thought was more interesting, and like I wanted a book about this character.
Sloane.
No.
Oh.
Does anybody else want to guess?
The king's son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted more of him.
Yeah.
Like I thought that story, like where that story could be going, I thought that was way more interesting
Well,
than like these two books.
so but maybe that's one thing. Maybe this 5-book series, maybe one or two of those books is gonna be like a side.
I need
type
this
of
man
thing,
to
you know
have,
what I
like,
mean?
a spin-off or something.
Oh, like
'Cause
how the whole
he
series
just
Avatar and
seemed-
Silverflame?
Yeah.
Yep, he just seemed to me the little time that he was, on screen, like I think it was a lot more interesting and compelling to me
Yeah.
than like Violet's story. And I don't want to hate. I don't like talking bad about people's books. Like people like these books. What? Were you laughing? Because
I hit something on here and it hit
Oh
me
my
up.
God.
Uh-oh.
You're fine.
No, I don't like to shit on like what people enjoy, right? Like I
Mhm.
personally, like I did like Iron Flame, but it's not. I don't know. I'm gonna keep reading it, obviously, because you know it's a podcast, and
Yeah.
I want to know what happens.
I was.
But I think if it weren't for this podcast and all of us being in this book club together, I don't think I would have picked up the next book.
Why'd you put the
Okay.
club in quotations?
Book club because like it's a book club. We're
It's-
just,
it's
we're
real
just silly.
book club.
We're just silly girls having like
True.
a
Well,
time.
I will like spin off one thing with what you just said, like with the comment that I kind of made of maybe she'll make a book type of that. I put a comment down in my like little random thoughts section that I would love for her to make like little side books of some of the books from the archives. Like I would love to read like if she wrote like Lyra's journal
Yeah.
type of thing or Warwick's journal and made those like actual little books, because I know like some like Harry Potter does that a lot. Like I have tons of them. There's tons of like the little books inside of Harry Potter that they then have turned and made into like actual physical books that you can read. Like I have a
Right.
the history of Quidditch or whatever it is, which is a book that they talk about inside one of the books of Harry
Right.
Potter is now an outside book.
Right.
So I would love to see little things like that, like some of the books that she read. I would love for her to put the fables. I would love for her to make a fables book like that for us to
I'm
have.
maybe
so
just-
sorry to bring up House of the Dragon again.
Oh,
But Fire and Blood. Fire and Blood is written like a history book in in the world, like in this universe, and it just reads like a history book.
Yeah.
It's the history of like the Targaryens.
Yep.
And I think that would be fun. That would just
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah.
Um,
mean,
See, I
don't
love
wanna-
that type of stuff.
I don't want to like crap on the author.
Mm.
say it.
But I don't know if she's truly thought deep and hard about the history that you guys are wanting to hear about.
I
Me
know.
and Nicole we talked about
Yes.
this.
Yeah, and I think maybe if she were to come out with stuff like that, it wouldn't be as good as what.
I'm gonna write it and I'll send it to her and be
So-
like,
Yeah, what you guys are thinking, like not to be, but it doesn't really seem to me like there's a lot of like development in
So,
everything here.
I don't know how accurate this is. This is what I read or like read in an article or like watched a TikTok. But from what I know, Red Tower, like the publishing company, came to Rebecca Yarros and was like, "Hey, we want to put out a romantasy book. Like, what can you give us?" And Rebecca Yarros was like, "Okay, I'm down. Let's do it." This doesn't seem like it's a passion project for her.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I
George
feel
R. R.
that.
Martin has been writing these Game of Thrones books forever,
Yeah.
and you can tell he really cares about the world
Yep.
and cares about the history.
Right.
And I feel like, and maybe it is just like
And creating the own language and taking
right,
the
exactly.
time to like.
exactly, maybe it is just a symptom of like, you know, wanting to put out another book because of the, you know,
Right.
the hype is so high right now. But I feel like you got to keep up
mhm.
with your own
Yes.
universe, with your own world.
And I
Exactly.
feel like a lot of readers would highly agree with the fact of I'd rather wait a longer period of time for a book to come out and have it be a like a very, very good book than to have something pumped out super quick just for the pure fact of it being a hype and it not living up to said hype. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this book did not live up to said hype. I'm saying it is a good book. I believe it was written well. I believe, you know, it kept my attention. I loved reading it. I want to keep on going up with it, but I believe that it could have been written a little bit better
Right.
if it was given the time.
There
Right.
was like a conversation on TikTok around the book, you know, when everybody was having their issues with their misprints and essentially talking like, is this turning into fast fashion?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
like, you know, authors are just, there's an author, Tessa Bailey, who pumps out books like nobody's
yes.
business. And I'm not like shitting on her or anything, like, if you can write a good book, if people like your books, by all means, like, do it. But I personally don't know how you can put, how you can make a quality book when you're writing them so fast.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
And sorry, it just always goes back to the Mass universe because
Yeah.
I mean, she's immaculate. I figured
Oh, yeah.
out her.
Oh, yeah, and
but
I mean,
the way
we've-
she thinks about her
Yeah.
entire universe, you know, as a whole, and just like
I mean, and
I don't know, it's
we
just-
waited a pretty decent amount of time for Silver Flame to come out.
yeah,
Like, it's not like that book was out like right after.
right.
Like that book took
Right,
a
and
while,
people-
and we're still waiting a while now. There's 2 more books that are coming out,
Yes.
and that book came out in what 2021, I think.
Yeah, and then also like people have been waiting for this third Crescent City book
Yeah.
for like ever.
And she just, I would say she just posted a thing on Instagram of she just got her hands on the first like
first copy
of it, and it's not even done being
Yeah.
edited and all that. Like, it has
Yes.
to go through another whole round of
Exactly,
stuff. Like,
because I just like that. You could just tell that she loves her stuff. Like she
Yeah.
loves her work.
mhm.
She loves what she does, and
she's
she's
passionate about it.
Yes.
Whereas, like,
I don't. I'm
feel
sorry.
that for that,
Yes,
for this.
I don't
She's-
feel that from Rebecca. Like
Yeah.
I definitely feel like it's one. Like yes, it was a good book.
Mhm.
Like I enjoyed it, but I do not.
But is it
it's-
just a money cow?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like I don't know Rebecca personally, obviously. So I don't
listen.
so I don't want to make assumptions, but that's what it feels like.
Which again,
You know.
you're making money. You know, like
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do.
yeah,
right?
for real. But
But I feel like people are obsessed currently with like quantity over quality.
right.
And people will wait. People will wait for a good book.
Yes.
People who read Game of Thrones have been waiting for the next book for 10 plus years.
Yep.
And you know what? When it comes out, I guarantee people are gonna buy it. Like buy the pallet full, you know.
Yeah. Facts, because that's just I don't know.
That it just builds more hype. It builds
Yeah.
more hype
Yeah.
than you've been waiting
And
for a
like
while.
I'm gonna be honest, I feel like after the third book, I may not be as interested in the series. I don't know.
That's why I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the
It
third
really
book.
does depend on how it goes. Like, trust me, like I love this book more than I liked the first one. The first one wasn't as hype for me. But if I just don't know how you can stretch this out into 5 books.
I don't know. I personally don't think this book should have been 600, almost 30 pages
Oh,
long.
yeah.
They Zayden and Violet have the same fight like 5 or 6 times.
Oh my god, it pissed
over
me
and
off.
over and over again.
Over
And
over.
it's like we get it. He's not telling her any secrets, and she's mad about it. We
Yeah.
get it. Like, I don't know. I'm afraid that's we're gonna get more of that in the
I
coming
wanted
books.
more dragons, and I wanted more
Mhm.
scale, and I wanted more Tarn, like, together.
If I could read this through the point of view of the dragons,
Yes.
I would love that.
There
Yeah.
wouldn't be any secrets then.
I'd love that.
Well, there was secrets, because, you know, Tarn had
The
no
dragons
idea.
are keeping secrets
He
from
was
each other.
so mad
Yes, he was
about
so-
his
he
second
was-
signet.
He was so
Mhm.
hurt. He was
Oh.
so hurt that Scale did not tell him.
Yeah.
Like, that was, whew. I love that. Again, anything with the dragons, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Also, sweet little teenage Adarna trying to be like Taryn and like has her little black scales because she wants to be just like him. But I really want to know like what her true color is.
Yeah, I want to know because what would her den technically be?
What was
You know
her
what I mean?
tail? I know.
Don't remember.
She uses her tail to
Shit.
beat Solus.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't remember.
Solus is Varish's dragon.
That-
Yes.
What chapter was it? Where Tarn just goes and grabs him by his neck.
I
That
think
was
it happened
like,
like twice.
Oh my god.
that was like, I was like, yes, I'm here for it.
And he did it like in front of the first time he did it in front of all like everybody. And
Yes.
Taryn was like,
I know. I was,
and then to
yes.
find out he took one of his eyes, and I was like,
I
I wanna hear
expected
about that.
I expected that to come back on Taryn somehow. Later on in the books, some like he and some dragon have some beef. And this fucking dragon just comes up to him and grabs him by the fucking throat like he did to Solus.
Solus deserved it though. Like he literally he could have killed Violet,
Mm-hmm.
and Taryn was like, not my rider, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, and my thing is like he burned. Oh, the other people that he killed, like, they weren't bonded, right?
No. he,
No, they were.
Yeah.
Fucking like incinerates like an entire class of
Yeah.
people.
Solis being a creep in that mountain.
He was fucking creepy as shit. But the fact that Andarna was just like, "Hi, bitch, how you doing?"
But the fact that, like, didn't she get tried for that or something?
No, she just like, I guess the way Tarn says it is like there's like she has it on her soul now, in a sense. But like, yeah, they like
she's got points on her license.
basically like yeah, like but
But he says, like,
not like
she-
yeah, like I guess like tried like they questioned her and they found it to be warranted.
My thing is if she, like, they did that because she killed Solis. But my thing is like, did they question Solis when he killed all these fucking riders?
No, because they don't care.
The humans are below the dragons.
I know, but
They-
it has, like,
they
an
are-
emotional
They are
thing
the
on the dragons.
they are the
Like, whenever that
stuff on the bottom
Amber-
of their shoes.
Yeah,
that
but
girl got killed and her dragon's, like, screaming.
yeah, but the way that they say it is a dragon without its rider is a tragedy. A rider without its dragon is dead. So the dragons will, yeah, it's gonna hurt for a little while, but they're just gonna move the fuck on and bond somebody else. You know?
Yeah.
And not Tarn.
Yeah, no, Tarna's already said
Tarn.
like if
If you go,
Violet leaves, he goes. Like he does not plan on ever bonding another rider. Like she is his last.
Yeah.
So.
I also didn't like how Violet was like super dishonest with her friends.
Oh, well, she did feel some kind of way about it.
She did. She did.
not like to have to lie to her friends or like keep
Yeah.
the truth from them. And it was really satisfying to read whenever she's able to tell them everything.
And they're like,
Yeah, and they're like, okay, bitch,
yeah,
we're on your side. Like, tell us what to do.
exactly.
And I think it was really sweet. I really did get the sense that they were her friends.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Whereas like in the last book, I don't know. It was just Violet was kind of, I don't want to say self-centered, but it felt like she didn't really let people in. And this one, I did get a sense of like,
Right.
you know, her having friends and like people that care about her and people who she cares about, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, if you think about it with the whole like lying with them, she basically took Zayden's advice on that. You know, like Zayden was the one who told her like, oh well, if you can't lie to them, then just don't be around them, type of thing. Like she took his advice of
Like, why?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, that just, no.
Out of all the people to take advice with lying, come on.
You're going from the liar himself, like, no. I don't know, their relationship just pissed me
So
off.
weird.
Yeah.
I feel like he was
So
playing
mad.
mind games. I feel like he was really
Oh,
playing
yeah.
with her. Like, it was like,
Gaslighter.
I'll tell you the truth, but you gotta know which questions to ask.
Sorry,
Yeah.
a walking red flag. Oh,
No, he is a walking red flag.
and yet
She's
Nicole would drop to her knees if he walked in the door.
I'm hoping for this next book that we figure out Adarna's, like, her color, her scale color, Violet's second signet. What the fuck is Violet? I feel like she's something.
Yeah.
For the dragons to be talking about her, she's gotta be something. And Violet's dad, like, I want to know. He knew something, and I want to know what that man knew.
That and Zayden's mom.
They mentioned her mom in the book,
they
and
did.
you know Rebecca, she only mentions things that they're important.
So, and yeah, and supposedly his mom was like, the thing was that she needed to stick around for so many years or whatever it was, and as soon as that time was up, she was like, peace the fuck out, bye, and just fucking left.
Right.
But where is she? What is she doing? Like, who is she?
Who, what, when, where, why.
Right? I need to know. I need to know.
If she doesn't know, she'll burn the world down.
Oh my god, Mara!
She'll burn the world down.
Say
I like the
something
mom's
once.
sacrifice. but I still
Oh,
like,
I honestly cried with that.
Yeah.
I really did.
Sloane's dead, right?
No.
Where'd you get that idea?
I thought she died with her.
No. Sloane's signet is siphoning, so she siphoned Violet's mom's power out of her and into the ward stone.
Okay, well now
charge it.
because she blamed Violet for the incest.
Yes.
And now Violet
She
can
kills-
blame her.
Yes.
Sloane kind of felt like an afterthought, because, at the beginning of the book, Violet's like, oh my god, that's Sloane. Like, I promised Liam that I would protect her, right? And then we see absolutely
Nothing.
nothing.
Protection.
Except for like, hey, you're going into this fight, this is what I would do. And so it's like, fuck you. And then she takes Violet's advice anyway. Like, that's it. That's the extent of it. You
Yeah.
can't tell me that she cares about Sloane.
I think it was really fucked up that Violet was like, Violet tricked her and was like, I'll give you your brother's letters that he wrote to you.
That
If
was
you-
fucked.
If you train with Imogen. Like, no, you're gonna give me the letters that my brother wrote to me, or I'll fucking call the police and tell them that you didn't burn it with the rest of his shit.
I don't think they have
Bitch.
police, but like I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'll call the police. I wonder what they, like, do they have 911?
No, they don't have phones.
You know that TikTok audio that goes, somebody better call the law.
And I think Varish, you dirty bitch. He did not give two fucks that he was torturing the general's daughter. Like, that was like an afterthought to him. Like, he was like, oh,
They literally said that she was gone. He was like, we have time. She's gone. She won't know what doesn't, like, what she doesn't know won't hurt her type of shit.
you don't think she's
Like,
gonna know?
yeah,
You don't
right.
think her daughter's gonna fucking...
What would have happened had they found out that happened if he wasn't dead? Like, what would they have done?
Yeah.
You know what I
They
mean?
Well, I mean, her mom-
his ass alive.
Her mom did make a comment of, I did not know, like, I didn't know any of this, I'm so sorry, I would have never let it happen type of thing. So God only knows.
He would have been a chicken nugget. He would have been crisp.
I also want to know, where's Dane's dad?
Burnt toast.
Like,
Well, he got moved, didn't he?
he got moved, but after he got moved, like, even when the battle came back to Biscayath, like, you never heard anything else from him. You never heard, like, what he,
I
you know what I
think
mean?
that
Like,
happened.
he needs to come back.
I think
God help us.
I think that whenever Zayden went and dropped Dead Wyvern, he probably dropped one on Dane's dad. I would have.
That was a badass fucking move, too. He was
Yeah.
just like, let me prove to all of you fucking people.
My thing is he had to go kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then fucking drag
Yep.
them back. Like,
Yep.
how many people did he have with him dragging their dead bodies?
Yep. Well, probably Bodhi was
When
helping
there's a
him,
will,
and
there's a
But
way.
yet he couldn't wait 5 seconds.
yep.
Before he drew.
That it will piss me off till the end of time.
Yeah.
It will just piss me off. Couldn't wait
But I
5
guess,
minutes.
like, whenever you're in that situation, right? You
I mean, yeah, you don't, yeah.
know. You don't have a time frame. You know
True,
what I mean? Like,
true.
you don't know. So,
You
like,
don't
I-
understand what's going on. Like, I get it. Yes, Mara, since you're raising your hand.
Back to what I was talking about earlier, with the top of like the chapter where it says like there's no cure, only control.
Mhm.
What do you mean by only control? Like, can the venom like control themselves and not take any more power? Do you have to control the venom? Or
Well, technically, the way that I'm seeing it as of right now, him and Jack are being quote unquote controlled. Because as long as they are inside the wards of Biscayath and Navarre, their powers are minimal. They're not allowed to do, they physically can't do a lot because of the wards. So technically right now they're controlled. So unless the whole thing is getting all of the continent warded, would be the only way to really like control said venom, is what I'm getting at.
yeah.
I also think the Griffins or the Gryphons or whatever, the Griffin writers, well, the actual Griffin, whatever. I think they probably look so cute, and I want to know what they look like.
I want to know what they look like too.
I actually really like the Griffin. Also, just like I had a lot of critiques about the first book, and one of my biggest things was like, it doesn't make sense to me that they recruit so many people to this war college and then just kill them off one by one, whether they're killed by each other, whether they're killed during threshing and all this stuff. When you find out that Griffin riders don't fucking die for their Griffins, like that was like, I was like, okay, I knew I wasn't being just like an asshole, like.
They literally jump off of a cliff and like try and land on a griffin. And remember Violet was like, well, what happens if you don't? You guys like die? And she was like, no, we jump in the fucking water and swim to shore. What the fuck do you mean you die?
Fucking psycho.
The Griffins, like, it really made me sad, like, knowing that if their rider dies, they die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That made me sad.
Yeah, that is
And they're,
sad.
like, comforting that one girl.
Mhm.
Oh, that was so
And
sad.
like, Kat's punk ass was like, you did this, like,
Bitch, the fuck up.
homegirl dislocated her shoulder trying to pull your little tiny puny friend.
Violet should have yeeted your ass off the fucking cliff.
I was
Bitch.
fucking yoted.
I'm sorry, but if some bitch walked up to me and said something, what did Kat say? Something along the lines of like,
The finger.
I know what he tastes like. Well, that and I know what he tastes like type of thing. I would have decked a bitch so hard. So hard. I just wouldn't even have thought twice. I just would have fucking swung.
There
Didn't Violet
is.
say, like, sometime later, she was like, thank you for, like, the finger.
Yes.
Or something. I was
Yeah.
like,
There you go,
There
bitch.
There was a part, I think it's Rhiannon, where she says, you have bigger problems to worry about than a man, to Violet. And I was like, oh my god, finally somebody with some sense. My goodness.
yeah, but Shannon is like,
I was gonna say,
It's
it's
a
fucking like a
date.
true
Yeah.
lesbian, but like, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, Kat mentions, like, she's like, it's not that you stole my man, it's that you stole my crown.
Yep.
And, I don't know, queen behavior. She
I
deserves it.
feel like it was about Zayden, but she just didn't want to, like, seem like a little bitch about it.
Yeah.
I didn't get that vibe at all.
I got that vibe. She's just jealous. Because my thing is like, you wouldn't you wouldn't say that shit for a crown.
Yeah.
The shit that she was saying to her,
Why
it
wouldn't
wasn't
you
over.
though?
Like, why
I gotta
would
get where
you?
she's coming from.
Because if I was going for a
Amani
crown,
was like
I'd be like, you don't know how to rule. You
Yeah,
were
like,
raised in this.
You're not street smart.
The
You're
way
stupid.
I see it, she's trying to make Violet so mad and feel some kind of way that Violet will just like, she'd be like, okay, if I'm with Zayden, I have to deal with this bitch for the rest of my life, you know, and
Not when
so
she's
I would just
queen.
like
She could
cut it off,
silence
you know.
that hoe.
Off with her head.
Off with her head. Yeah. Burn her alive.
I mean, I do like the fact though they didn't become. I like the fact that they did not become friends at the end, but they became
Teammates.
civilized.
They respected each other.
Exactly.
To a certain level.
Exactly. I liked that fact. I was so happy that she didn't make them like
Best
hold
friends.
hands and sing
Grace-
kumbaya around the
graceful,
fire
yes.
type of bullshit.
But my jaw fucking dropped when they're in the fight and she Violet realizes that Zayden taught them both how to fight. I was like,
Yep. Same.
That was good.
and then she's like, my thing is like, you couldn't even be like, she couldn't even be honorable enough to not use her fucking powers on
Mhm.
Violet. Like, you had to fight her and like mentally fuck with her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then her teacher was like getting on to her. I'm like, Violet, you should have just fucking.
Right. Stab
Or,
this
I mean,
real
like,
quick.
You know what? I think your Griffin's out there and have fucking Taryn burn her ass to a crisp.
Goddamn.
Crispy.
Crispy
Violet.
chicken nugget.
Violet should have just shanked her ass real quick.
Honestly. Honestly. But you know what? It's fine.
Goddamn. Well, I don't think I have any more
Let
thoughts.
me look at my notes
Okay.
really quick, just to make sure I didn't miss.
I know, so I've been trying to like look in mine too, but I don't think.
I'll look
I don't
at
have
my
anything
notes,
else.
Too. Leah's like, I didn't bring notes.
Oh, my very last note says, I can't even blame Kat. I would also be fighting my ex's girl if it meant I could have my crown back. There is some weird, like, it's gotta be like a kink for people who read this book, but like, there's some weird possessiveness from Zayden towards Violet, and it skews me out so
I
much.
love it.
I was saying I love it. I love it.
There's one part, I don't remember what happens, but Violet is convinced that Zayden is like bleeding out in a fucking field.
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah.
Let me talk.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
When she races over to where he's stationed
Yeah,
at
she leaves
because
without
there's like
permission.
an attack or something.
She leaves without permission before she goes. I think it's Bodhi who like, hey, you're gonna freeze to death. Here's my jacket. You don't have time to go get your
Oh,
own jacket. I'm gonna take my jacket and go. And so she goes. She breaks all the fucking rules. She goes to him, and he's like, fine. And she's like, oh my god, I thought you were dead. And he goes,
Whose jacket is that?
See, but I love that shit.
no.
You love it. You know what?
The supposed love of your life is panicking because she thinks you're dead.
Yeah.
And your first thought is not to comfort her. Your first thought is,
I know.
oh, what
It's
man
so
has
not
she been
good.
hanging out with?
I know.
Here for it.
I hate it.
You know what
Hate
gave me
it.
the
Sorry.
skeevies, and I'm not here to knock anybody's kinks, like whatever you're into, but I saw
As Crystal would
TikTok-
say, don't yuck their yum.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Are you gonna make this a thing? Are you gonna
But-
make this a thing?
Listen,
Just like the,
listen,
it's not that serious.
It's not that serious.
Listen,
Okay, sorry.
Listen, sorry.
fuck.
Say it.
I saw a TikTok and this girl was like, she was like, you know what part like got me hot and bothered about the book, and I was like, what the fuck?
Ew.
It was when fucking Taryn goes after Solus and he was like, you know, Birdwood's mine, and I was like, what the fuck? And someone commented and was like, this is like, these are daddy issues. You definitely need to go to counseling for that. Because that's literally like, Taryn's like what, 500 years old?
Yeah, but I feel like they bond so close. It's a soul connection between Dragon and Ryder, where it's almost like Tarn is almost like a father figure to Violet.
Yeah.
So it's like
I'm not gonna get hot and bothered over that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Over
now I got it.
No, but
I thought the
feel
girl was
I
like
do
pissed.
like that little bit of
Fucking
possessiveness though. Like because it's like he's jealous.
Exactly.
You know?
I want a man to be jealous like that.
Okay, we're talking about Zayden, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like,
No, Zayden.
No, yes.
I want my
Zayden,
man to be
Zayden.
like obsessed with me and possessive like that. Like, please.
Right. I'm not so possessive though. I need just a
No, yeah.
little bit, like a submission.
Like, I'm still gonna be able to go out and do what the fuck I want. I'm gonna wear what the fuck I want. You're not gonna tell me who I can and cannot be friends with and shit like that. But like, I want to walk in someplace and you be like, who the fuck's jacket is that?
yeah.
And I'll be like, calm the fuck down.
Yes.
I need
love
that.
it. I love
I
it.
want to be able to have like half my boobs out in an outfit at the club, and Joey tell me how beautiful I am, but also beat the fuck out of anybody.
Yes,
who's
yes,
That's
yes.
right.
100%.
Facts.
Yeah.
I'm
Same.
not sure I understand.
I love it a lot.
But I also think
Your husband's gonna listen to this podcast. and be like,
That's what she wants.
He's just also not a jealous person at all, so.
I'm really glad that Halloween's passed because I've been seeing some like thirst videos of like fucking Ghostface. And
Girl, there was one that I was watching yesterday, this guy that I follow, and I was just like, also, I'm really happy that we did not go to Halloween Horror Nights, because a bitch would have fucking climbed some men like a tree over there.
Oh my god, we can't take you anywhere.
Nicole.
I'm sorry.
Group.
Huh?
I said Nicole's the horniest. of the group.
She's the whole, oh yes, I told you.
You cannot deny that some of those men at Halloween Horror Nights were hot as
I
fuck.
can't say that I would climb them like a tree.
I would.
too can say that I would not be clean. That's because I'm thick.
So am I.
I'm thick with 3 C's.
According to you, I have the biggest ass.
You do.
That's why you have the 5 C's.
God damn. Oh god. Okay.
I think that's it.
Are we done? Are we actually done?
I'm fucking tired. Leave that bit in. Tell them I'm tired.
Okay. You're
It's
tired.
hard work providing these podcasts for you guys.
Yeah, this we've been recording for 2.5 hours
Yeah.
with this one.
Oh,
With
wow.
this one?
This
Yes.
one?
I knew
Yes,
Oh
just
my
this
God.
has been 2.5 hours. It is almost 3 o'clock.
God, I want to take a nap.
If we leave now, I have time to get home and tell Joey at 5 that I love him.
What about cookies?
Who?
Cookies.
Cookies.
I forgot about cookies. It's not that I want to go home, it's that I hate being out past
Well, maybe if you weren't late, I think next time we should start at like 9:30.
God damn, bitch. The fuck you
Can we
mean?
come in at 6 a.m.?
I like an early shift.
We can come in at 6, we'll be done by 2.
You know what I think we should do? I haven't done this since I was like fucking in high school. Let's stay up for 24 hours straight and then
No.
Yes, I agree to that.
Terrible
So
idea.
delirious.
I used to love doing that shit. I used
I
to
would
love
have
like during
to-
the summer just
Like,
staying up all night long. It was one of my favorite things ever.
I did it. I did it once or twice my senior year during the summer, like the summer before. And I stayed up for like a good 48 hours twice, and I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me.
You
I
do
was
know
awful.
if you stay up, I think it's
too.
past 48 hours, you actually technically start to go insane. Like you will start to hallucinate. Your body starts to fucking shut down. Like for real.
We did an overnight shift when they were rebuilding like that one little section and taking out the skin pod. And I think I went in
I
at
haven't been to you guys did that.
I
It
think
looks
I
so
went in
weird.
at 11 p.m. and didn't leave until 7 a.m. And then I went home, tried to sleep. I literally dozed off for like 2 hours and had to do it again that following night. And I was so pissed off. When I was driving home, like I couldn't keep my eyes open. Like it was insane.
You
Like,
would not want to know what I used to have to do at Toys R Us.
Listen,
So I believe that is everything. As always, this will be posted to our Instagram. So you can head on over there to send us any comments, questions, concerns, anything like that, anything that we did not discuss about this book that you think we should have discussed. Be sure to go ahead and check out our Discord. We just set that up, so that is a new feature that we're going to have. We figure it would be nice to talk to you guys in real time, so that's why we did the Discord. There's a couple different channels over there that you can go into. And if you had any book recommendations, we do have a recommendation channel also that you guys can kind of leave those in. But yeah, I believe that's everything. We hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to rate, review, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
bye.